Look at that, dude.
It's like really soft serve.
That's like middle of August. You get that.
John?
Oh, come on, dude. That's kind of gross, my guy. That is kind of gross. What's up, guys? Welcome back, and we're here on the, we're gonna call this the farm chains video because this is our client's business shop, and his business is farm chains. So what we've been doing since the last video, which was getting that roof done, is we've got soffit fascia done. Did not record that. You guys have seen soffit fascia, and most likely, if you really want to know about soffit fascia, you can always check out one of the other videos on the channel, or stay tuned, and I'm sure we will do more soffit and fascia in the future. But also, if you notice way back there, we've got a little bit of house wrap up. We've got some wainscot on. We've actually done that just in a half morning while we were looking for something to do. And you'll notice behind me, this porch here already has the concrete poured. Now this, something that I've talked about, this is basically the best way to do a porch here in the northern climates because we have frost heave. This is sitting on a full frost wall. So this is capped over the frost wall. We do this whenever a budget allows this, and this client, was able to do this, so this is great. And it also means that we can come in and mount our brackets right on top of this, and we don't have to dig any holes, we don't have to pour any concrete. I am not saying that the way that we will typically do it on a pier is bad. It's just there's always good, better, best, and this is definitely the best. We've also got a lot of framing done. We got windows, we got walk doors, and today what we're gonna keep working on is I've got windows to frame up high. You'll actually see back there, I've got a couple framed. Client just wants a lot of natural light flowing into his warehouse space. And as I get those windows framed in, we're gonna go ahead and keep working on steel. We're gonna try to get as much steel as possible done up to this porch area, which, if you guys know, we've got to frame the porch up before we can put all the steel on. So it's not the most sunny, beautiful day out, but it's not raining. The site's dry, so let's go ahead and get to work.
That hurts.
Yeah, but that's what you gotta do, dude. You gotta work that sucker. Take it from a guy who's a little bit older and knows a lot about sore muscles, Yeah, 13.9 because 15 would be edge, so 13.9 or 14.6. Let's see what we like on that. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to be close to center. I think we go this one here. It's much easier to do this, and it just naturally goes where you want it. Thank you. Ugh.
You good?
Okay. On to the next one. Thanks, sir. So the reason I'm doing this tape here at the bottom, this is some WeatherLogic seal tape, is because this bottom of this white wood is going to be right down by concrete. So I don't want to use a treated board because treated boards are typically not very good quality for straightness, and this is a door jamb. So got to do something to protect that white wood. You're just like a goat, Greg. You like to be on top of things, climbing around. You'll eat anything. And what's the other one?
Smell like.
Nice teamwork. All right, guys, so I'm gonna do a little bit of eating my own words a little bit. So I've been using this new 1.25" Milwaukee SDS rotary hammer. I love it. However, I have said time and time again, this dust extractor, it just doesn't work. But I was just at Milwaukee for their pipeline event, and I talked to one of their product managers, and I said, hey, what's up with this, man? Love this, don't like this. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, it doesn't suck any dust up, and that's the point of it. So we went, they got another unit, we did some testing, and theirs worked perfectly. They said, just send us yours back, we'll send you a new one under warranty, and we'll get it figured out, and we can use yours as a nice test base, you know? And we're just chatting, and I look down, and I'm like, wait a second, that's different than mine. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, you see, this guy right here, this comes out, okay? I put mine in. When I look at this, I say, okay, there's this white little arrow here, right? This little arrow that tells me, I guess, push it in. I don't know what it tells me, but it tells me something. And then the way this looks, to me, and I'm just a simple-minded person, it looks like it sits like this, not like this, because this is shaped downwards, and you know, a lot of times things that go down are usually wider at the bottom. So conceptually, I pulled this out of the box that it came in on, and I've already used an SDS, so I put it on there, got it all where I wanted it, and it did a horrible job picking up dust. Come to find out, this is supposed to be flipped over. Now, some would say, Kyle, yeah, you're kind of dumb. You should have thought of this, and the dust all goes in here and it creates a vacuum. But to me, this little white arrow, when I put it in there, I could see it. And it made sense that this is the way it went. And then the way, like I said, that this was angled, it just looked like that was how it should be. But now I see the error of my ways. I just think, after talking to the product manager and some people at Milwaukee, we decided that they probably should design this differently so that this can only go in one way. So this is the first time now drilling on site. Let's see if we can get this. First time drilling on site the right way. Let's see if it actually picks up dust a little better, and I'm a little bit happier, because we got to do a little framing down here. You can see we got this door, and it just is going to be like spanning across this 8-foot bay, and there's not going to be anything to lock it in. And when we cut out these girts that are where the door is, this will be kind of wobbly. So what we do is we just take a scrap piece of, we got a scrap piece of treated, and we put it here in the back, and we're going to give ourselves a place to secure a couple tap cons into the concrete, screw this off, and that way it can't move on us. So let's see how this works. Okay, so proof is in the pudding. This thing actually does work pretty good. It's got that auto feature that's going to clean the filter off, and I mean, sucked all the dust. So I guess I just wanted to say, I've told people that I like this, that I don't like the vacuum, and I was wrong. The vacuum's not the problem. It was more probably the design and my ignorance that put it together wrong. So don't be afraid of this unit, because I'm telling you, man, this thing is awesome. And now that I got that right, I'm going to give this a high recommendation. All right, opening done. You'll notice we've got our house wrap. It's just screwed up there, held tight as we rolled this side out. Now that this framing is done, we can go ahead and roll this out to this side and get all this wainscot up. Okay, so I've gone through, marked 3 foot up here, and now Greg is going through with the level, and he's plumbing a line up top and bottom. And it just makes this so much easier, because now I can come, I can line up my lap rib over here, and then I'm just gonna look for my line that he's making, set my edge on, which is all based off of a 36-inch layout, get my bottom screw, make sure my top screw's good, and then I can just make this lap real nice. And then I keep going, and then we'll come back and screw this whole thing off once all the steel's placed in. You're getting wet, dude. I know it's not in your contract. I don't want you to back pay me, you know? Or back bill me for working in the rain, man. I'm sorry. What the heck? Needed a car wash anyway. Ugh. You said rain tomorrow? Yeah. That's not good, my guy. All right, so new day. Man, we got rained out yesterday, which really stunk because we were working on this back wall. I don't like leaving house wrap unattended because unlike stick frame where you have sheathing behind it, we just have a girt every 30 inches or so, which means when the wind is coming at the wrong direction, it can blow it right out because we don't try to overstaple it. We don't want penetrations in our, our house wrap more than we have to. Luckily, the storms didn't get too bad. We've got a lot of rain, and we're gonna be working in mud all morning here to get this covered up, but at least we're in the lift right now. We've got windows that we need to trim out. Before I left last night in the rain, I did do a lot of prep work, so this should go pretty quick, and then we'll get into installing the steel. Oh, it's beautiful. So when I'm doing these trims, I always give myself like an 1/8 inch extra so that when I put the trim on, I can make sure that it stays exactly flush with the window. Sometimes when you're doing metal bends and stuff, it just doesn't turn out perfect. So by giving yourself a little bit of room for error like that, when we do the install, then we can make sure this is perfect for that piece of trim that's gonna go right on top. Go ahead, big dog. Ready for the next one?
So,
whose shoes are these?
Mine. I was gonna
what
use
size are they?
Hey, 10.5. Get your big feet up.
Oh yeah, my big feet won't fit
You got
in
a hole
there.
in your sock.
What? It's just mud. Mud can be washed off. I got the bottom, by the way.
Yeah. I've got the top, by the way.
Nice, dog. This mud's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, it's definitely piling up on my shoes, but it's kind of that sandy mud, so it's, I think it's gonna be gone here in a little bit with this nice sun. Sorry, man. I'm not mad at you. Disappointed? Maybe. You're a real professional, Greg. You'd almost think we'd done this before. Okay. Nice. We're really struggling here because the site is pretty muddy. We don't want to make it even worse. And what I mean by that is every time we drive our scissor lift through, it basically creates a rut. And every time it rains, you get bigger problems because those ruts fill up with water. And then typically you're driving, sorry, hopefully the wind's not too bad, guys. You know, typically you're driving in a specific position, and every time you have to go back through there when it's muddy and wet, it becomes worse and worse. So we're gonna try to just work off of ladders. I got the plank. I did put my muck boots on. What do you guys think of that? That is the new look. I should have put them on earlier, so, because I'm gonna be walking through some pretty good muck here, but if we can get these last couple windows installed, run our house wrap, we're gonna be able to do wainscot and try to get everything prepped down low so that when this does dry out, we can run our scissor lift and finish all this upper steel. So that's kind of the plan. Not a whole lot of, you know, crazy stuff to share with you guys, so let's just kind of roll this into some time lapse and we'll get this process done. Man, it's like late morning, like almost lunchtime. Actually, I already ate an early lunch, but it rained all morning, and this site has been nothing but mud for us. Hence the muck boots. They're still muddy from Friday. That's how much mud was on them, and we're gonna have to work through this mud. There's nothing we can do about it. I hope the scissor lift makes it through it. It's pretty muddy and soft over by that white pipe. I think that's a water pipe or something. So I think it was dug out and it's very loose. But the goal is to get all this house wrap up and run this metal. So we really don't have a lot of other options. We're still waiting on interior steel. That should be here by the end of the week. And I'm waiting for my concrete guy to cut out these doors down low so that we can finish those trims off and do the front wall. So we're kind of like at a point where I told Greg, we're just gonna have to put the muck boots on, or I will, since he doesn't have any, and get this work done in the mud. So let's get into this, let's get this done. This should be an easy wall. Hope everything goes smoothly. What do you need? Oh yeah, I feel good that we're out, you know? These are the types of days that when you're done, you're like, man, we made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Sure. You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna go get that telly fired up because we just hit a major hole. We're leaning into the building and I don't wanna go any further, so we're just gonna try to, I don't know, Greg, I even find, we might have to pull this back end out first and get the back end over, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Otherwise, I think we're just gonna get pulled right into the building, so should've just stayed home. I had stuff I could've done at home. We'll try and pull the back over don't give a crap. It's just mud, dude. Greg, keep coming and then drive straight in. I'm gonna stay hooked up. Nice. The right machinery makes all the difference. Now we'll just go ahead and get this, and then when if you gotta pull back, I'll pull you back. Yeah, and then we'll get this steel done and we'll go around. Easy, dude. Wait.
So, do you want me to walk through this mug, or are you gonna give me a piggyback ride? Now, if you give me my other shoes, I can walk through the mud, but I don't want to walk through the mud with these shoes on.
Don't ever tell me that you carry this team, because I literally am gonna carry this team right now. Hop on, big dog.
For real?
Let's go. How about here? How about here? Careful, dude. What? You have your hammer in your pocket? We got to get down to the very bottom, the smallest piece, so we can stack this end wall up in a staggered effect. So kind of stinks, but I think we're down to 3s, Greg?
Yep.
Okay. You know, one thing is when you're carrying steel, see how Greg and I are on opposite ends and opposite sides? When you curl the sheet like this, it makes it way easier to carry, and you don't have to worry about it getting bent. So as long as you get this thing kind of turned into a taco, you can carry a really long piece. And by doing opposites, it just makes it a lot easier. Let's just take one inside. We'll just kind of keep going like. There, so this pile here is for our other end wall. So we staggered it all out, 2 piles. Now we've got it set up. I don't think the rain's gonna last. We're gonna keep working. I think we're gonna get this end wall done. So remember our measurements? What are we? It's not gonna rain, dude. The rain's over.
11 3/4.
Going. Which way you go?
I like to go up against the.
Well, I wanna make you happy because you're the one that complains. 15, 158.96. Okay, got your hand on it?
Yeah.
All right. I might slip down here. Okay.
What do you think was good?
I can make that work. You know, I'm quite surprised that, actually, now that I think about it, maybe I'm not surprised. I was gonna say I'm surprised Greg's working today. He doesn't contractually have to work when it rains, and he definitely doesn't have to work in the mud, so I haven't heard him complain yet. I'm kind of surprised. Greg!
What?
You done?
I got 2 more rows.
I'm just gonna let it go. It's okay. I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy that we're getting this done, actually. It's not been too bad. So that cloud of dust was my concrete contractor. So this is a 10-inch wall. And the problem with a 10-inch wall is that we are only using a 2x6 column, and it sticks out pretty far. This right here is the bottom of the floor. So there's gonna be a 4-inch curb around the perimeter. And what we want is the garage door guy needs framing and attachment points all the way down at about 3.5 inches. So concrete guy came back, he forgot to knock this out. Totally fine. To be honest, I didn't remind him, so it's also my fault. It's something that we do as a standard, but it just got missed on this one. Normally we just stick a 2x or something in here. So he came by and just chunked this out. What we'll do is now be able to frame all the way down. and then when the floor gets poured, it'll just get all poured in there. So that's what he was doing here, and I think he forgot his tape measure, so it's definitely his. We'll have to, I'll give him a text. What?
Ready.
All right, Greg's ready. We got to move him one last time with the telehandler. I hope that once we make this final move, we can do the rest of this wall without having to do this. We'll see. We'll have to get some blocking. Yeah, too bad. Well, one more peak sheet. And you wanted to go home. Yeah, so did I though. I'm tired. It's this. It's the mud. It's walking around the mud with 40 pounds of it on your feet. That's what's killing me, Greg.
Bud.
I feel like I'm so light now. All right, let's see what we got. All right, time to do some garage door trims. I like doing the garage door trims. It's one of the details that we kind of customized, and I had never seen anybody do it like us until we did it. And honestly, it was to make our job easier. And in the end, it ended up not only being easier, unlike these sawhorses, which should be a lot easier than this, but it also, I think, gave our buildings kind of a different look than most people. So I guess if you're curious, stay tuned. I'll show you how we do these garage door trims. Come on. And maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll see something and say, you know, Kyle, you could actually do this other way and it'd be even better. That is what I love, when people give me critiques on what I'm doing. Kind of like, Kyle, throw those sawhorses away and get some better ones. Yeah, I would agree. First, let's kind of start with how a lot of these garage doors are trimmed. Most of the time, you got the garage door here, and, oh, there's a nail or something sticking out right here. That was weird. A lot of times what you do is you'll take a piece of, like, we call it like a post trim. It's like a big L, and that'll go here, right? That'll kind of cover up this jam, and then you take another piece of trim, if you care about quality, and you come in from the backside and tuck it underneath there. That way you have like a solid trimmed opening when the door's open or whatever. Problem with that, now you have a joint, right? So that's kind of a pain. Then you come in here and you've got to run a piece of J-channel on this face so that your steel can get hidden in here. So now you've got a joint here. You can see this line, and you've got a joint here where this overlap is. That's the way you typically see this done. What we've done is we've made a piece of trim, custom, that looks like so. And what it's going to do, I'll show you. When this is all done, we still have some framing to do, but it's going to wrap around from the back. It's gonna come around, nice, one piece. It's gonna give us this nice return here that gives us a good solid look. And then we can put our J-channel back here and it hides it so that it doesn't look, you know, cheap. This is a really nice, rich look. And the other thing that we do, you're gonna see, is that this right here, this corner is very susceptible to damage. So we will actually add some framing. This is all designed for an 1.5 by 1.5 frame behind this. So that's what we need to do first. We've got to do an 1.5 by 1.5 frame here, and then we will also frame out the backside with a 2x6. That's what Greg's working on. So we've got this guy here. This is gonna go like so. Okay, it's gonna go right up there to the door, something like that. Looks like this board's a real winner. A little bow to it, no big deal, we'll straighten it out. This is a good place to use some of your last resort boards because we're not as worried about perfection, because we're just gonna make it match whatever this big column is doing. So now this will get wrapped. This is our back jamb, and this is what our garage door track, seal, that'll all get mounted to this. So that is the process. Let's go ahead and trim some doors up. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is my side and my top. So this is a side piece, this is the top of the piece, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give myself a 1.5 inch mark on both sides. And this is more or less, you'll see, we're gonna give ourselves a little bend. It's gonna stiffen up this top corner, but also it's going to hide your eye from seeing any of the wood framing underneath. So we'll just take our snip. I'm using different colored snips because I want it to push my steel in 2 different ways. Notice how this kind of flared it up on both ends. It's because I'm gonna take this guy, these 9-inch benders, and I'm gonna bend that up. So depending on the snip you use, it just makes your cut easier. And that is the first piece. So this is all we're gonna do. And this is all gonna make sense when we start to put it together, why I folded this way, why I have this here, so stay with me. So that is one piece. This is what's going to be at the top of the jamb, top of the door opening, I guess. So this is a top piece. All right, now what we do here is, this is kind of just an eyeball thing. You could do measurements maybe if you're doing your first one, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna connect this point to about the middle here. And once again, use this as reference how I cut them, but you'll see them get installed and it'll all probably make sense. So I'm just gonna kind of make a little tick mark where the middle is. Okay. Just gonna make myself a line. Now what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna cut to this exact point. Once again, through experience, you'll find out why I'm gonna leave that there, and I will show it and point it out when I install it, why I leave that there. If you guys think you know why I do that, go ahead and drop a comment down below, and we'll see if you guys are right. Okay, so now we have this guy. So we have a side, we have a top, and I've got 4 sides and 2 tops to make. And then when we install the 2 sides on each door and the 1 top, then we'll have to do another piece because our door is 14 foot. We'll have a joint on our top and our sides. Try to make sure it's square. Ooh, hear that? That is thunder. All right, so of course, like our whole day, it looks like we've got some bad storms right on the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tidy this up, and we're gonna continue this door trim and the finishing of these doors tomorrow. So let's just kind of wrap this up, and we'll be back in the morning. Hopefully the weather's better than today because it was absolute trash. Greg, how's your knees?
Huh?
How's your knees?
My knees?
Yeah.
They're aching a little bit.
Okay, so the weather's coming?
Yeah, I felt about now.
Oh, hear it? Thunder.